All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-through as we continue our journey in Chapter 4. Okay, we're going to take our time on this. I've already went through this, and it's a pretty tough section, okay? Here with Carson again. At this point, I'd like for you, if you're viewing this on your laptop or at home, pause the video and read the scenario. Okay, so we're back to Elvira, the cafeteria manager, and she's got a number of variables established. Now, I hope you have thought to yourself, like, when I go to McDonald's and I order a number 6 biggie, or I want it large, and I want a root beer, and I want to add a cheeseburger, I hope that you understand that, like, no one is sitting there and typing in all of those numbers into a calculator and adding your order. There are people just your age that literally touch buttons. All those buttons have values. Those values are added up, sometimes discounted if they qualify under a value meal, and then your price is produced to you by a computer. So the only way to accomplish this is to have a system of defined variables. Okay? So it says Elvira. So here's the table. I hope you've looked at it. And then it says Elvira has written the following equation for A. A is S plus W plus P divided by C. What does A represent in terms of the school and the cafeteria? So A, no, it doesn't, because it doesn't just equal. A equals ViewSonic. It equals the salads. I don't know what this is doing. It's the salad line plus the sandwich line plus the pizza line divided by the number of classes. Well, now it looks like this ViewSonic has added a new problem, and that is when we do a horizontal line, it seems to want to give us some back button. So ViewSonic. All right, so what does that really mean, Carson? Aren't those all of the lines? Could you go to a line that was different than sandwich, salad, or pizza? You could not. So on the top, okay, we have the total lunches, and on the bottom, we have the number of classes. So what this turns out to be, Carson, is the number of lunches ordered per class. So that's what A is. A is the number of lunches on average, and I honestly can't write any more clearly than this with this terrible machine, per class. Okay? Okay, we're going to move on. Using what you know about manipulating equations, solve this equation for S. Your solution will be the form S equals an expression written in the terms. So let's go back, and it's going to be A equals S plus W plus P over C. And they want you to solve this thing for S, Carson. Well, I don't like fractions. So how can I get rid of that fraction? By what? That's right. Very good. Now, Carson, what's A times C? So on the bottom, we get AC, or on the left, I should say. And on the right side, it's S plus W plus P. What are we solving for? So now what do we need to do? Subtract W, and what else should we subtract? Subtract P from both sides, right? So we're going to end up with S. Sorry, they didn't leave us a bunch of room for this. S is equal to A times C minus W minus P. That's a P, sorry. AC minus W minus P. That is our answer for S. So what does S represent? Let's look back. S is the number of students that buy lunch in the salad line. So the number of students that eat salad is equal to the average amount of lunches bought multiplied by the number of classes, subtracted out the sandwiches and the pizzas. Okay, I buy that. Does your expression for S make sense in terms of, yes it does, and I kind of just explained that, so I'm going to leave it like that. Here is another one of Elvira's solution. R is P sub L times the total lunches purchased. Right? Remember, sandwiches plus salads plus sandwiches plus pizzas, that's the total lunches. So R is the PL times the total lunches. What does R? Let's go back and look. That's the price per lunch. So, if we took the price per lunch times the total lunches ordered, what would that give us, Carson? It would give us R, but what does R represent? Yes, it does. Very good. The total money received. Not our profit, but the money we took in. We still got to pay for the food. We got to pay for the workers. Okay? What does R represent? Now we got it. Total money received. This is just so frustrating. I can't even explain it to you. Okay? Total. Oh, here we go again. Great. ViewSonic. Alright, now, using what you know about manipulating equations, solve this equation for P sub L. We can do that, right? R is P sub L times F plus W plus P. I don't think we want to distribute. What are we solving for? No, I don't think we want to multiply. What are we solving for? We're solving for P sub L. What's being done to the P sub L? It's being, how do we get rid of multiplication? We divide each side by S plus W plus P. That's 1. That's gone. So, P sub L equals R over S plus W plus P. Does your expression for P sub L make sense in terms of the meaning of the other variable? Well, let's look at them. So R was what? It's the total money received. Okay, so what's this saying? The price per lunch, the price per lunch is the total cash received divided by the number of lunches, right? Shouldn't that equal the price per lunch? All right, we're in business. Literally. Okay? Elvira notices that she uses the expression S plus W plus P a lot. She decides to represent with T. I love it. Finally, T. What does T represent? Total lunches. Let's go fill that in. I think we're going to be using this for the rest of the chapter. So R, what was R? Money received. And T is total lunches. I'm so sorry. This is embarrassing. Okay? Alright, what is our units for R? How do we measure how much money we received? Dollar bills, y'all? How do we measure $2 bills, which says total lunches? Units or lunches, right? Can you buy half of a lunch? I don't think you can. All right. All right. So Elvira is having a meeting with staff members who work in the lunchroom. She has created a couple of new equations for the food servers. D sub F and M. Okay. What does D sub F represent in terms of the school and the cafeteria? So it's the total amount of lunches divided by the cost per lunch, or times the cost per lunch, divided by F. We don't know what F is. F is the number of food servers. Ooh. We'll find out. We'll find out. The question was, on the test, will it be this difficult? And the answer is, we'll find out. Okay? All right. What does D sub F represent? Well, it's the total number of lunches times the price per lunch divided by each worker. So it's the money per worker. Whatever that means. I don't think we can pay all of the money received to the workers because we also have to pay for our food and pay for our equipment and stuff. Solve this equation for P sub L. Okay, so really that's the point of this lesson. I want you to know it. Solving equations that only have letters. So, D sub F is T times P sub L divided by F. I don't like fractions, Carson. So we're going to multiply both sides by F. F divided by F is 1. So that's gone. And that leaves us F times D sub F. Right? Is T times P sub L. What are we solving for again, Carson? Solve it. Excellent. Divide each side by T. T divided by T is 1. So you end up getting P sub L. This is so great. Is F times D sub F. All over T. Okay? What does M represent in terms of the school and the cafeteria? Let's see. What's M sub T? The number of minutes taken to serve all students. So M is the number of time to serve all of the students. T is the total amount of lunches. So what does M represent? It's the amount of time per student. Okay? Solve this equation for t. So m is m sub t over t. I'm just going to put it by, yes, you got to multiply both sides by t. And you get t times m. T divided by t is 1. So you get t times m equals m sub t. So now how do we solve this for t? Divide both sides by m. So t is m sub t over m. Okay? Alright, so that's it for that one. One of the staff members suggests that they need to write expressions for each of the following. Using the variables, what would they look like? The average number of students served each minute. I think that might be what we just figured out. The average amount of... So, we're going to take the number of minutes to serve all students and divide it by the number of students, right? No. So let's see. Average, let's pause this real quick. Okay, so I would not expect you to come up with this on your own, but hopefully you're still watching this video. It's a little long, it's very challenging. We all have the right to be challenged. That's what school's about. If you think about it the other way, that's the difference between babysitting and school. Okay? So, how many students are served in each minute? Well, let's take the total amount of lunches. Okay? Let's multiply it by m sub t, which is the amount of time in minutes it takes to serve each student, right? Isn't that what m sub t was? And then let's divide that by 60, because that's how many minutes there are, and that will give us how many students are served in each minute. That's very complicated. Okay? The average number of minutes students wait in the pizza line, I believe, would then be, instead of T, it would be P, the amount of students that buy pizza, times M sub T, the amount of time it takes for each student, and still divide by 60. And now we're talking about students per minute, not lunches per minute. And that is that.